On behalf of the town of Silver City, I'm calling our council meeting to order. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. Councilor Linda Amon Smith will be present here with us by telephone. We would like to welcome Captain Villegas from the Silver City Police Department, and we'd like to welcome the members of the press who have come here, and welcome all of you here tonight. The next item on the agenda is changes to the agenda. Does anyone want to make changes to the agenda?
No, sir.
No changes? Next item will be council comments. Councilor Amon Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. When the first council meeting in November was held, I was in the hospital in El Paso, and I am out but recovering. And I just want to thank all of my colleagues on the council in the town, my friends, my relatives, and my faith community, and my neighbors for being so supportive and so helpful for me during this difficult and trying time. So I'm happy to be joining you via telephone. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. The next item is Councilor Bedison.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to do a quick report on the District 1 Territorial Charter Day, which was held on November 16th. Actually, it was James Marshall and Dinah Ingalls-Leyba that designed a traffic calming feature. We had to kind of change it up a little bit due to comments from the public about some concerns about a 3D one. So two other ones were painted, and the Silver High School woodshop made the templates, which we're really thankful for. So I want to thank all the residents, volunteers, and Gary Staley and all of the kids that were out helping. Chief Portillo, Officer Manny Howdy, Assistant Manager James Marshall, Mayor Ladner, and some other officers that stopped by. I just want to say that the morning started at 9 o'clock with 6 older women, and I was the youngest of those older women out there doing all the painting until about an hour later. So they got a lot done. We got quite a bit done, and everyone helped. It was really great, and I can tell you, after they were done, it was amazing how quickly the paint dried. But after we were done, James Marshall and I were standing by his truck. We were just talking, and 3 vehicles came through very slowly in the intersection. We were not near the intersection because of those features. So according to residents right now, we know that they're driving slower because they're not sure what they're coming up on. So we'll see how it works, and we'll see how long the paint actually lasts. And I just want to give a shout out to the town for the paint and the pizzas and paint brushes, you name it. And I just want to say Officer Manny Howdy is the paint pourer extraordinaire. He knows how to pour paint. The chief not so much, but he did help a lot. I also wanted to mention that I recently returned from the National League of Cities City Summit that was held in San Antonio, where there were a number of really impressive workshops and inspiring presenters. And one of those presenters was Academy Award, Grammy Award, and Golden Globe Award-winning actor, musician, activist, and author Common, who spoke about his most recent book, Let Love Have the Last Word, and how that applied to municipal elected leaders. It was very inspiring for me, and the things that I took away were service is transitional. It's transitional to the person. It transforms you. And service is also a form of self-activation. As leaders, we can't just lead, we have to go deeper. What places are you going to that you are not expected to go? And he gave the example of some of the elected officials in LA meeting with different gang members and trying to come to some agreements on some things that needed to be done. And the last thing he said is, all you need to serve is a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. So that led me to accept an invitation I received when I was gone to attend the White House Women's Municipal Leaders Conference next month, where about approximately 100 women, 2 from each state, will discuss shared priorities that are nonpartisan, including community revitalization and economic growth, urban infrastructure, rural broadband, and more. And one of the things that I'll be doing is preparing with the town manager for some things that I think are critical to our community that I want to make sure continue, which includes CDBG funds and Colonias funding, because that's threatened every year. And I'm hoping that together all of us can come to some sort of consensus about the needs that our communities, whether they be large or small. Some of the communities on the conference call this morning in preparation for the meeting were very, very small, and the mayor of Red River is the other women's municipal leader that will be going from the state of New Mexico, and they're smaller than we are as well. So there were some good questions asked this morning about the relevancy of, are small communities going to be benefiting from this? And I think they made it clear that it's an opportunity to open up conversation. There'll be panel discussions, opportunity to do question and answer. So with that, I will be calling in on the December 10th meeting because I will be out of town at that time. And I just wanted to wish everyone happy holidays and happy Thanksgiving on Thursday. Don't eat too much turkey.
Thank you, Councilor Bedison, and congratulations. Let's give Councilor Bedison a round of applause. Councilor Cano.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just like to announce that for the next month, my schedule is going to be a little bit busy. We'll go with busy. So from December 4th to December 15th, I will not be available at all. I can answer emails, but that will be it. After December 15th, it'll be by appointment only to the end of the year, and then I'll see what happens after that. I just have some personal business that needs to be dealt with, and I will be missing the December 10th meeting, so I will not even be calling in for that. So just to let people know ahead of time. Thank you.
Councilor Ray.
Thank you, Mayor. One thing now that the cold weather is upon us, make sure that we bring in our pets, because it is getting very, very cold. I know we're going to have the census here, chunking here pretty soon, and I got mixed feelings on that. And if when the time comes, I'll say some more about it. But thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the council? I just have a few things. I'd like to thank the members of the community for all of the volunteer work they do. They do a tremendous amount of things that contribute to every aspect of community life. Everything from our financial stability to the different events that take place in town, which would not occur without our tremendous volunteer resource. And I want to thank all of the council members now, because Councilor Bedison's service project was the last of 4 projects that was done in this community by our council. And so I think this is really important to show the leadership for community service. So thank you, council members, and thank you, community members. I received a letter or a card that I'd like to read. It says, "Dear Mayor Ladner, I am writing to commend a city employee I met yesterday at the parking area under Highway 90 Bridge for the San Vicente Creek Trail. The impressive young man's name is Dominic, and he was maintaining the area of the San Vicente Creek. We met up because we had been on the trail and had collected 2 bags of trash along the way. He told us about how the area has been littered due to campsites where homeless people live. We came across 2 areas along the trail where someone had bagged up loads of trash. He said he planned to remove all of those bags, but needed a cart to haul it all out. What really impressed me was his commitment to keep that area clean, safe, and available for Silver City citizens. He is obviously a dedicated civil servant. Silver City is fortunate to have such outstanding young men as an employee. Sincerely, Annie. So, moving right along, the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes of the November 12, 2019 regular meeting. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilor Edison?
I move to approve the minutes of the November 12th regular town council meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilor Ray?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is public input. And I see there was no public input sign up, so we'll go right to reports. First on reports is Mr. Gary Staley. Gary?
Mayor, members of the council, I got all dressed up for you tonight. I'm actually probably just going to introduce the young man, but I did want to give you an update. Last Saturday we had about 20 people, 10 youth and 10 adults, who did a section of the trail on Boston Hill, and that's an ongoing commitment that Mr. Brown has made that is a huge return on investment for what little bit the town puts in. All the other work is volunteer. So we did about a little over a mile of trail last Saturday. It was a beautiful day. And now that mile of new trail will be very user-friendly to hikers and mountain bikers and jogger runners, and even fat old people like me will enjoy that. So that's a commitment. I asked Mr. Brown before the meeting if it's something that I could share. The new signage for those trails will be going up, and part of that will be a conjunction with another Eagle Scout project. And so the commitment from the town is that we will continue to improve those trails so that there is a complete circle all around the outer edge of the Boston Hill property without going on to any other BLM or private property at all. And I believe in the next 5 years you will see a tremendous increase of usage there, not only from local people but from visitors coming into town. Now, I really came tonight to support a young man who's going to report on his Eagle Scout project. So this is Lane Porter, and he'll come and he has a very short slide presentation, and you can ask him any questions. So he'll plug in. You know, none of the rest of us knew how to do this. He knew how to do it.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lane Porter, and I'm with the Boy Scouts of America. I'm part of Troop 110. I'm working towards my Eagle Scout, which is the highest rank in the Boy Scouts of America. In order to receive this rank, I have to complete a project for my Eagle Scout. What I did for my project was, I built a retaining wall down by a big ditch next to the opening of Kelly Street. The reason I did this was because the erosion was falling onto the sidewalk, which was making it hard to walk and enjoy the views down by a big ditch. So I made this retaining wall and planted a plant called periwinkle, which is fast growing, in order to prevent erosion and keeping the dirt from flowing over the top of the retaining wall. I also prepared a spot behind the police station to put a park bench so that people would be able to sit and enjoy the views down by a big ditch. In order to do this, what I did was I dug a 2.5 foot hole and filled it with cement and prepared it. Once the cement is settled, I will drill holes and place the park bench in. Thank you. I have a short slideshow to show to you of the Eagle project.
Thank you. Does any of the councils have any comments or questions?
So how many people were there to help you?
There was about 25 people there, and we had a total of 100 hours.
Wow. Councilor Bettis?
I just want to say thank you very much and congratulations that you're working on your Eagle Scout. That's really important. I have several members of my family that completed that as well.
How much money did this cost the town? Nothing?
Nothing? Yeah. Southwest Concrete and Pavement provided the retaining wall bricks and pins, and we used the leftover dirt that was on the sidewalk to place it in between the retaining wall bricks to keep them more sturdy. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Councilor Connell?
It's really impressive that you've done something so important to the community. Little things like that people probably don't think about, but it's going to be something that for years it really matters, so thank you.
Councilor Ray?
You're a fine young man. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Lane, thank you so very much for this wonderful community project. We really appreciate it, and the town of Silver City applauds you. Thank you. Mr. and Mrs. Porter, I think all of your sons now have, in the past, completed community projects similar to this and have earned their Eagle Scout Award.
That's true. They're both here.
Yeah, there's one sitting right there. And I'd also like to point out that Councilor Cano and Councilor Vediston are Girl Scouts. So,
I would point out that Sergeant Carter is one of them.
so thanks again.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your time.
The next is staff reports. Mr. Brown.
The only one that I have is Ann needs to make an announcement.
Mayor and Council, I wanted to let everybody know that candidate filing day is coming up on January 7th for our March 3rd municipal officer election. And next week I'll have the candidate packets ready for anybody interested. Thank you.
Any questions for Ms. Mackey? Thank you. The next item on the agenda, number 9, is public hearings. The first item under public hearings is the matter of the approval/disapproval of ordinance number 1286, an ordinance for a request for a zone change, ZC 19-02, for a tract of land from a residential B and industrial zoning district to residential B1 relating to various tracts and lots in town owned by Vista del Plata subdivision consisting of 33.025 acres, more or less. The applicant is the town of Silver City. I think Ms. Priscilla Ariando, town planner, will now present the details. Hang on just a minute, I'm sorry. I've got ahead of myself. Let me back up, okay? The town council will serve as a hearing board, and I, as mayor, will be the presiding officer. The hearing will be conducted as follows. The town staff shall present a brief synopsis of the proposed ordinance and describe the actions taken and recommendations made by the Planning and Zoning Commission regarding this matter. I will then permit the councilors to question staff, and after that questioning has been completed, I will ask for public input as to the substance of the proposed ordinance. The public shall be permitted to question staff on this matter. At this time, will all those who are presenting or testifying in this matter come forward to be sworn in? If you wish to make any comment at all during this proceeding, you must be sworn in. Ms. Mackey?
Please repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Priscilla Ariando,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that the testimony I am about to give
that the testimony I am about to give
in the matter before this council
In the matter before this council
is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth,
is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth,
under penalty of perjury.
under penalty of perjury.
Thank you. Mrs. Ariando?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. This is ZC 19-02. It's the Vista del Plata subdivision.
I'm sorry. Could you pull the mic down a little bit and speak a little louder so Councilman Smith can hear? Yes.
It's an amendment to the official zoning map for an industrial and residential B to a residential B1 zoning district. The Vista del Plata subdivision is currently zoned residential B and industrial, and this proposed zone change would rezone the whole subdivision to residential B1. This change would be a correction to the zoning map as well as an implementation to an existing zoning district which has not been used. Section 3.1.3, Residential B Restricted Single Family and Attachment Housing, RB-1 District. The Residential B Single Family and Attached Housing District is intended to accommodate low, medium, and moderate density single family, two-family, and multifamily residential development containing no more than 10 dwelling units, not including single-section manufactured homes, and to provide land use protection for areas that develop in such a manner. The Town of Silver City Comprehensive Plan of 2017, page 3-24, C, Development Regulations/Zoning. The town should coordinate land use and community design goals with the goals of other planning elements such as housing, community design, transportation, and economic development. The town's development regulations should reflect this integrated approach to planning, ensuring all new development has a beneficial influence on the quality of life to improve future opportunities for the community.
The zoning map should be updated to reflect all categories and current uses. This is the current zoning map, so as you can see, it's currently zoned both residential B and industrial, right in the middle of the subdivision there. And this is the proposed zoning change, so it'll rezone the whole area, all of the lots there. And here's some pictures of the subdivision that I took. When the Planning and Zoning Commission makes its recommendation to the Town Council, and when the Town Council makes the final decision, they shall at a minimum make at least one of the following findings. The proposed amendment is in substantial compliance with the town's comprehensive plan. The proposed amendment will not adversely affect the implementation of the goals and policies of the town's comprehensive plan. The proposed amendment is justified in order to correct a mistake in the town's comprehensive plan, an error in the assumptions about the property, surrounding uses, population forecasts, rate of land consumption, or other factors. The proposed amendment will not adversely impact the public health, safety, or general welfare, and will promote the original purposes of the land use code. The proposed amendment responds to change conditions such as changes in assumption on capital investments, road location, population trends, land committed to development, density, use of further studies that have been completed since adoption of the land use code. The proposed amendment is necessary in order to respond to state and/or federal legislation, and the proposed amendment provides additional flexibility in meeting the objectives of the land use code without lowering the standards of the land use code. It's the opinion of the Community Development Department and the recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission that the zone change may be approved by Town Council based on the following findings. The proposed amendment is in substantial compliance with the town's comprehensive plan. The zoning map should be updated to reflect all categories and current uses. The proposed amendment will not adversely affect the implementation of the goals and policies of the town's comprehensive plan. Implementation of this zoning district is a way of meeting goals in the comprehensive plan since it has not been utilized. And the proposed amendment will not adversely impact the public health, safety, or general welfare, and will promote the original purposes of the land use code. This proposed change will stay aligned with the particular purposes of the land use code, specifically purpose 1.2.5, which states to encourage a more efficient use of land and public services and to reflect changes in technology of land development. And the proposed amendment provides additional flexibility in meeting the objectives of this land use code without lowering the standards of the land use code. This change will not adversely impact the adjoining properties because it will not allow for a substantial use change, but which will match the uses which currently exist. Also, this change will correct the split zoning on the subdivision.
Are there any questions from the council? Are there any persons in the audience that wish to make a comment who have been sworn in? Mr. Brown? Okay, there being none, do I hear a motion? Councilor Cano?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve of ordinance number 1286, in summation, an ordinance for a request for a zone change ZC 19-02 for a tract of land from residential B and industrial zoning district to residential B-1 relating to various tracts and lots in town owned in the town-owned Vista de Plata subdivision consisting of 33.025 acres more or less, based on the following findings. The proposed amendment is in substantial compliance with the town's comprehensive plan. The proposed amendment will not adversely affect the implementation of goals and policies of the town's comprehensive plan. The proposed amendment will not adversely impact the public health, safety, and general welfare, and will promote the original purposes of the land use code. And the proposed amendment provides additional flexibility in meeting the objectives of the land use code without lowering the standards of the land use code. And the applicant is the town of Sawyer City.
Thank you, Councilor Cano. Is there a second? Councilor Wright?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll second that as well.
Is there any discussion in the council? There being no discussion, roll call, please, Ann.
Councilor Cano?
Aye.
Councilor Rennie?
Aye.
Councilor Avon Smith?
Aye.
Councilor Medicine.
Motion carries unanimously. The next item on the public hearings is the matter of the approval/disapproval of ordinance number 1287, an ordinance for a request for a zone change, ZC 19-03, for a tract of land from a residential B zoning district to mixed-use zoning district for a tract of land described as a tract of land being part of lots 7 and 9, block 275, Fraser's survey of the town of Silver City, Grant County, New Mexico, containing .303 acres more or less. The property address is 716 East 16th Street, and the owner is Philip Malott. The town council will serve as the hearing board, and I as mayor will be the presiding officer. The hearing will be conducted as follows. The town staff shall present a brief synopsis of the proposed ordinance and describe the action taken and recommendations made by the Planning and Zoning Commission regarding this matter. I will then permit the councilors to question staff, and after that questioning has been completed, I will ask for public input as to the substance of the proposed ordinance. The public shall be permitted to question staff on this matter. At this time, will all those who are presenting or testifying in this matter come forward to be sworn in. If you wish to make any comments during the proceeding, you must be sworn in.
Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Priscilla Redondo,
Do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I'm about to give in the matter before this council is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under penalty of perjury. And since we have someone on the phone, please speak loudly when you present your testimony.
Thank you. Ms. Oriana?
So this is DC 19-403. It's an amendment to the official zoning map for the residential B zoning district to mixed-use zoning district. Okay, I'm just going to read it. I don't think it's going to come out. The property was originally zoned residential A. In October of 2002, the owners of the property applied for a zone change to commercial. The property had been a bakery and a restaurant, but was non-conforming and had been vacant. The commission at the time suggested that she apply for a zone change to residential B with a conditional use permit for a restaurant. She agreed, and in November of 2002, that request was recommended to council, which was later approved. This caused a spot zoning. The commissioner at the same meeting discussed a proposed mixed-use neighborhood commercial zone. The mixed-use zoning district was later introduced on a few parcels and on a larger scale as per ordinance 1217 in May of 2012. Since Mr. Marilott's property is already spot zoned, changing it to a mixed-use zoning district would not be detrimental to the neighborhood. The residential B single-family and attached housing district is intended to accommodate low, medium, and moderate density single-family, two-family, and multifamily residential development containing no more than 10 dwelling units, not including single-section manufactured homes, and to provide land use protection for areas that develop in such a manner. The mixed-use district is intended to accommodate a mix of small-scale commercial and residential uses, and to provide a transition between commercial and surrounding residential neighborhoods. Reinvestment, limited expansion of existing residential and commercial buildings, and new mixed-use residential and commercial uses are encouraged. The Town of Silver City Comprehensive Plan of 2017 states the town should coordinate land use and community design goals with the goals of other planning elements such as housing, community design, transportation, and economic development. The town's development regulations should reflect this integrated approach to planning, ensuring all new development has a beneficial influence on the quality of life to improve future opportunities for the community. The zoning map should be updated to reflect all categories and current uses. When the Planning and Zoning Commission makes its recommendation to the Town Council, and when the Town Council makes the final decision, they shall at a minimum make at least one of the following findings. The proposed amendment is in substantial compliance with the town's comprehensive plan. The proposed amendment will not adversely affect the implementation of the goals and policies of the town's comprehensive plan. The proposed amendment is justified in order to correct a mistake in the town's comprehensive plan, an error in the assumptions about the property, surrounding uses, population forecast, rate of land consumption, or other factors. The proposed amendment will not adversely impact the public health, safety, or general welfare, and will promote the original purposes of the land use code. The proposed amendment responds to change conditions such as changes in assumptions on capital investment, road locations, population trends, land committed to development, density, use of further studies that have been completed since adoption of the land use code. The proposed amendment is necessary in order to respond to state and/or federal legislation, and the proposed amendment provides additional flexibility in meeting the objections of the land use code without lowering the standards of the land use code. It is the opinion of the Community Development Department and recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission that this zone change may be approved by the Town Council based on the following findings. Number 1, the proposed amendment is in substantial compliance with the town's comprehensive plan. The town's development regulations should reflect this integrated approach to planning, ensuring all new development has a beneficial influence on the quality of life to improve future opportunities for the community. And number 7, the proposed amendment provides additional flexibility in meeting the objectives of this land use code without lowering the standards of the land use code. This proposed change will stay aligned with the particular purposes of the land use code, specifically purpose 1.3.5, which states to encourage a more efficient use of land and public services and to reflect changes in technology of land development. Yeah.
Will the applicant come forward and identify yourself and make your case?
Hi, I'm Philip Maryland. I've bought the...
Speaking to the microphone.
Yes, I bought the property on June 6, 2016, and it's never been used as a residence in its whole existence until the last couple of months. I've used it in a small way as that. It's just not suited for only a residence. It's a metal building. Half of the back of the building, which is most of the building of 2,300 square feet, is not heated. The entry room, which is about 900 square feet of the 2,300, is now restored, so it's usable. But it's a metal building. It has a couple bathrooms. It's never been a residence. So the zoning as it was, zoned as residential B, wasn't ever in conformity to its historical use.
Does the hearing board have any questions for Mrs. Oriando or Mr. Malani? Councilor Madison?
Yes, Mr. Oriando, I have some
Questions for you?
Mary Lack.
So, I know that you weren't able to project it up on the screen, but we have a map in our packet.
Right.
And could you explain what the different colors are on here? Because I don't know what those zones are. There's no legend.
There is just a spot that's blue right in the middle. That's Mr. Marilock's property. It's across the street is residential C, which is the mobile home park.
Okay.
It's surrounded by residential A, and then to the west of it is mixed use. And then right above the residential C is commercial.
Okay, so all the blue is mixed use.
All of the white with like green, it's to the east. It looks white. That's mixed use.
Okay,
And the blue is just a spot right in the middle.
right, but there's blue on the north side.
Yes,
And I think you're talking about, it's to the west, which is the gray stippled area.
right, that's mixed use.
Yeah, okay. So the blue that's to the north, what is that again? I'm sorry.
That is also residential B.
Okay. It's just kind of confusing because I'm looking at the colors and I'm thinking that's the different zones that are present in the area.
Right.
So, I guess, my question is what kind of commercial property businesses are permitted in mixed use?
It's made mostly for light commercial, not really any kind of heavy, more like offices, studios. The mixed use that we have right now has real light commercial areas. It's not allowed for heavy, large development.
So it couldn't be used for auto repair or something like that?
It can be used for auto repair, I believe. Because there is one in the mixed use zoning right now. I believe it's on Swan or Corbin. There is a residence that's using it as an auto repair.
Okay. You answered my question, thank you.
Councilman Connor?
If we pass this, how easy is it for us to make other areas of that, in that neighborhood, mixed use? My concern is that we make too many of them into that mixed use, and all of a sudden we have another neighborhood that's been gentrified by studios and other things, and we have neighbors who don't have a place to live anymore. So I'm really concerned about how easy the process would be to make it even bigger once that space is.
We didn't really propose that, but
I know, but I think in the future.
Right, the surrounding neighborhood, they're all just residential houses. The only one is the one to the east of his property is a home daycare. And that's probably the most non-residential property that's there. Everything else is residential.
Any other questions from the hearing board?
I want to comment.
Okay.
The property has a large concrete parking area in front of the building that maybe could be 10 spaces, maybe for maybe 10 vehicles. The entry has this double doors of glass doors. The back of the building is unheated, which is the bigger room. There's no way that building is suited because of its access for anything like auto repair, because the entry room is a finished room and it's through double entry glass doors. The back of the building, there's just no access to it for something like auto repair or anything like that, so that's not going to happen.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Ms. Emma?
No, thank you.
Do I hear a motion? Councilman Connor?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve of ordinance number 1287, an ordinance for a request for a zone change, ZC 19-03, for a tract of land from a residential B zoning district to mixed-use zoning district for a tract of land described as a tract of land being part of lots 7 and 9, block 275, Fraser Survey of the Town of Silver City, Grant County, New Mexico, containing .303 acres more or less, based on town recommendation for the following findings. Number 1, the proposed amendment is in substantial compliance with the town's comprehensive plan. Number 7, the proposed amendment provides additional flexibility in meeting the objectives of this land use code without lowering the standards of the land use code. And the property address is 716 East 16th Street, and the owner is Philip Mary Lott.
Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor, second motion is stated.
Thank you, Councilor Madison. Is there any further discussion or comments? Is the hearing board now prepared to vote on the matter?
Yes, sir.
Roll call, please, Ann.
Councilor Kano?
Aye.
Councilor Ray?
Aye.
Councilor Amon Smith?
Aye.
Councilor Madison?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. The next item is under new business, 11A, and is the approval/disapproval of a special dispenser permit and waiver of NMSA 1978 60-6B-10 for alcohol service near a church for the Society of Mining Engineers annual Christmas party on December 14, 2019 at the Murray Hotel, 200 West Broadway, Silver City, New Mexico, with alcohol service from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Liquor license holder, Dow Enterprises, LLC, DBA, Q's Southern Bistro, LLC, liquor license number 28098, 101 West College Avenue, Silver City, New Mexico, 88061. Who will present the request?
Mayor, Mr. Quintana is not here.
Pardon?
Mr. Quintana is not here.
Then I guess we should just... Mr. Mayor? Councilor Kano?
Could we postpone it and do that after the executive session? Giving him time to get here, if someone calls him.
Mr. Scavron?
Yes, and the problem with the applicant not showing up is that if any council members have, or anyone else, since this is a public hearing, has any questions, those questions, it's not a public hearing. We're not considering it a public hearing. So if the council, forget about the audience, has any questions, and there is no representative to answer the questions, you can remand, you can reject the application for being incomplete.
Okay.
There is nothing in the law that requires the presence. You can act without him being here, but if anybody has any questions whatsoever...
Well, I guess I appreciate that, and I think that's one way to go, but I would like to follow Councilor Kano's recommendation that we try to contact him when we go into executive session, and then we can take it up if he comes.
You can do that.
Okay.
It's going to require a motion.
Right, do I hear a motion?
I move to postpone new business A until after we're done with new business B, allowing for someone to contact Mr. Quintana, and I believe we have someone doing that right now.
Okay, is there a second? Councilor Ray?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll second that.
A second? Oh, any discussion? All in favor of postponing this is motioned, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. The next item under 11B is the approval/disapproval of an executive session pursuant to NMSA 1978, Section 10-15-1H, for the discussion of the purchase, acquisition, or disposal of real property or water rights. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Madison?
I move, I hate the approval, disapproval. I move that we move into executive session, the town council moves into executive session pursuant to NMSA 1978, Section 10-15-1H, for the discussion of the purchase, acquisition, or disposal of real property or water rights.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilor Kano?
Mr. Mayor, I'll second that motion as stated.
Is there any discussion? Then I call for a roll call vote. Ms. Mackey?
Councilor Madison?
Aye.
Councilor Amon Smith?
Aye.
Councilor Ray?
Aye.
Councilor Kano?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. The council will convene in the conference room after about a 5-minute recess. The council is back in session. No matters other than those matters included in the motion to go into executive session were discussed. At this time, I will ask the council members for their affirmation of that statement. Roll call, please, Ann.
Councilor Kano.
Aye.
Councilor Ray.
Aye.
Councilor Amos Smith.
Aye.
Councilor Madison.
Aye.
The council has unanimously affirmed that no matters other than those matters included in the motion to go into executive session were discussed. The next item on the agenda is item 11B. I'm sorry, wait. Is item 11A under new business, and is the approval/disapproval of a special dispenser permit and waiver of NMSA 1978-60-6B-10 for alcohol service near a church for the Society of Mining Engineers annual Christmas party on December 14, 2019 at the Murray Hotel, 200 West Broadway, Silver City, New Mexico, with alcohol service from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Liquor license holder, Dow Enterprises, LLC, DBAQ's Southern Bistro, LLC, liquor license number 28098, 101 West College Avenue, Silver City, New Mexico, 88061. Mr. Quintana?
Well, it's how you said it, for the mining engineers that work for the mines. And it's their second annual event that they're doing. I hosted it last year. And for about 50-60 people, we'll be doing wristbands again, and carding everybody, and be supplying the food and the drinks. So I don't know if you guys have any questions.
Okay, any questions, Councilman Benson?
Just a quick one. So I've got two different maps in front of me. So there's the ballroom map that says it's the serving area and there's security, but then...
I'm doing the bar. There's going to be security. I think I have an S there where the door is on the main map, on the bigger map.
Yeah, on the bigger map, that's the main entry into the hotel.
Yeah.
So you're going to include...
I'm doing all of it just in case someone walks into the lobby with a drink to use the bathroom or does any of that stuff. I do the same thing with the conference center.
Okay.
But everything we'll have our security everywhere.
Okay, I was just checking on that, because I just wanted to clarify, because usually the service area includes not, the map has the whole service area on it.
Well, that's just so that is the whole service area. That's why it has the whole map, and it shows the whole hotel. And then you have the smaller map, because that area map that you guys...
Is the main one.
Yeah, that you guys request. I can't write where the bar is going to be at on that map. So show the ballroom, so that way you guys see where in the ballroom the bar is going to be located.
Got it. Great. Thank you, Anthony.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Mr. Quintana. Do I hear a motion? Councilor Ray?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve of a special dispenser permit and waiver of NMSA 1978-60-6B-10 for alcohol service near a church for the Society of Mining Engineers annual Christmas party on December 14, 2019 at the Murray Hotel, 200 West Broadway, Silver City, New Mexico, with alcohol service from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Liquor license holder Dow Enterprises, LLC, DBAQ's Southern Bistro, LLC, liquor license number 28098, 101 West College Avenue, Silver City, New Mexico, 88061.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilor Connell?
Second that motion is stated.
Thank you. Are there any comments or discussion from the council? Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. This concludes the business of the town of Silver City. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor, second the motion as stated.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're hereby adjourned. Thank you, Councilman Smith.